On Friday, February 19th, Antonin Scalia laid in repose in the Supreme Court's Great Hall. Outside, thousands lined up to pay their respects to the late Supreme Court justice.
I actually had the privilege of Scalia teaching one of our administrative law classes, my third year law school, and so just seeing him up close in person, and kind of hearing his perspective kind of live, it just kind of gave me a different view of the guy himself as a human, and so I thought it was, a kind of a neat thing being in D.C. to finally get the opportunity to, show our respects for him.
He was so important, especially in upholding the Constitution, that he's really a powerful figure to look up to, and especially the fact that he was such good friends with someone like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who is so opposite his views, but he was able to maintain that friendship.
President Obama arrived around 3 p.m. that afternoon and said farewell to the Supreme Court justice and spent about 30 minutes with his family. Antonin Scalia is the 9th Supreme Court justice to die while his time in office. The last time a Supreme Court justice passed away was back in 2005. His passing leaves a vacancy on the court which could take several months to fill. The Republican Majority Leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, announced within hours of Scalia's death that this vacancy should not be filled until we have a new president, forcing President Obama to respond.
I plan to fulfill my constitutional responsibilities to nominate a successor in due time.
The clash between the president and the Republican-led Senate was also on the minds of the people waiting to bid farewell to Scalia.
Republicans overplayed their hand by announcing that they were going to say no. If they had just said no from the beginning and not been as obvious about it, there would not have been such a fallout from their own party.
Replacing a Supreme Court justice, especially when it's going to change the majority, is something that it changes the future of our country for decades.
However, history is already being affected by the vacancy. Major court rulings this year could end in a 4-4 tie.
I think it's clearly going to be 4-4. I think a lot of the ones that really matter were going to be 5-4, and they're going to be split 4-4.
4-4 split means that the circuit court ruling stands, but it's not precedential. So for right now, the court's going to move left. Anthony Kennedy is going to be the less important as a swing vote, as he previously was. And I think the main thing is to see if we can get another nominee in.
Reporting in front of the Supreme Court, I'm Davone Morales for GWeek.